Percents, fractions, and decimals. Looking more closely at the grid model, we can see how percents and fractions are related. For example, here we have 80 of the 100 boxes shaded in. So 80 over 100 equals 80 for each 100, which means 80%. The total number of boxes is the denominator of the fraction. Notice that we're able to go from fraction to percent because the denominator of this fraction is 100. The denominator needs to be 100 for the numerator to be the same number as the percent. If the denominator is not 100, we can use what we learned in the fractions unit to change the denominator to be 100. You can multiply the top and bottom of a fraction by the same number without changing its value, since that's the same as multiplying by 1. Use that to write an equivalent fraction with 100 as the denominator. 2/5 is equal to what percent? Well, we have to change this denominator to 100. 5 times what equals 100? Well, 100 divided by 5 is 20. So if we take our 2/5, it's written down here. If we take our 2/5 and multiply the bottom by 20, and therefore also the top by 20, right, because 20 over 20 is 1, then we'll get 40 divided by 100. So of 100 total pieces, we are dealing with 40 of them. That is 40%. This approach will always work due to the definition of percentages. Here's another way to look at it. We can look at a tape diagram. So 2/5 is equal to what percent? So we'll divide the tape into 5 parts, right? That's the denominator. And we're shading in 2 of the parts. And on the bottom, we can have the whole thing be 100. And then therefore, each of these sections is going to be 20%. So therefore, 2 out of 5 is the same as 40 out of 100. 40%. Converting from a percent to a decimal number or fraction, or the reverse, can also be done by directly using the identity property of multiplication or division. Multiplying or dividing a number by 1 does not change its value. And multiplying by 100% is the same as multiplying by 1. We can see that by converting 100% to a fraction. So 100% would be 100 out of 100. And a number divided by itself, like this, is 1. Obviously that does not work for the number 0, but in this case it works. So we can multiply or divide any number by 100% without changing its value. This one fact will allow you to convert back and forth between percents and decimals or fractions. Let's solve the same problem we just did using that approach. 2/5 is equal to what percent? Multiply the fraction by 100%. So we're going to multiply the numerator to 100, keep the denominator the same. So remember, 100% is the same thing as like 100% over 1. So when we're multiplying fractions, we multiply the numerators, and then we also multiply the denominators. So 2 times 100 is 200%. In the denominator, 5 times 1 is 5. So 200 divided by 5 is 40, and then throw that percent on. The same result is achieved, but this approach will work directly for all conversions to or from percents. Different methods don't need to be remembered. 3/5 equals what percentage? Well, just let's multiply by 100%. So 3 times 100 is 300% divided by 5. 300 divided by 5 is 60%. 7 over 50 is what percentage? All right, so 7 over 50 multiplied by 100%. We get 700% divided by 50. So what is that? Well, one of those zeros cancels with one of those zeros. What's 70 divided by 5? I'm not sure. Let me do this just in case. 1, 5, 2, 20, 14. So this is going to be 14%. 5/16 is what percentage? All right, so 5/16 times 100%. 5 times 100 is 500% divided by 16. Now I don't know what that is, so let's do some long division. 16 goes into 50 3 times. 16 by 3, that's 1848. So that gives us a remainder of 2. Bring down a 0. 16 goes into 20 1 time. 1 times 16 is 16. 4. All right, we're going to have to add a decimal. Bring down the 0. 16 goes into 40 twice. 2 times 16 is 32. Remainder of 8. Bring down another 0. 16 goes into 80. All right, let's see here. 16 went into 50 3 times. So 66. Okay, so it's going to be 4 times, I think. Let me just check. 16 times 4 is 64. Oh, but then plus, oh, it goes in exactly 5 times. Look at that. So, boop, erase that. 5 times. 5 times 16 is 80. Perfect. So the answer is 31.25%. 23/10. What percentage is that? All right, let's see. 23/10 times 100%. So we add 2 zeros to 23. Divided by 10. Well, let's go ahead and cancel out one of those zeros. So it's 230. Divided by 1, well, that's just 230%. 230%. See how a number that's 23/10, if you do this division, it's more than 1. So you're going to get a percentage that's more than 100. 5/4 times 100% is 500% divided by 4. So that's 125%. Once again, 5/4, this number is bigger than 1, which means the answer here, the percentage, will be more than 100%. The answer is 125%. And there you have it, all of the answers. In the same way, you can convert from percents to fractions by dividing the percent by 100%. Again, dividing by 1 will not change the value of the number. For example, to convert 55% to a fraction, just put 100% in the denominator. So the percent signs cancel, since they're on top and bottom of the fraction. If the percent signs do not cancel, an error was made somewhere. And then the last step shown above is needed if you're asked to reduce your answer to simplest terms. So 55% can be written as 55/100, or it could be simplified by dividing top and bottom by 5, and you get 11/20. Convert these percents to fractions. All right, just divide it by 100%. The percentages cancel, and we get 80/100. Let's simplify it further. Divide both sides, top and bottom, by 10. We get 8/10. And then that can be simplified. Divide top by 2, and you get 4. Divide the bottom by 2, and you get 5. So the simplified answer is 4/5. 18%. All right, just go ahead and divide it by 100%. The percentages cancel. 18/100. So these are both even numbers. So let's go ahead and divide 18 by 2, and we get 9. Divide the bottom by 2, and we get 50. These don't have any common factors, so the answer is 9/50. 9/50. 42%. All right, go ahead, divide it by 100%. Now the percentages cancel out. This is 42/100. They're both even, so let's go ahead and divide top and bottom by 2. So 42 divided by 2 is 21. The bottom divided by 2 is 50. And there are no common factors here, so the answer is 21/50. 1800%. All right, let's divide by 100%. All right, the percentages cancel. That 0 cancels with that 0. That 0 cancels with that 0. And we are left with 18 divided by 1, which is 18. 150%. Let's go ahead and divide it by 100%. All right, the percent signs cancel. That 0 cancels with that 0. And we have 15 over 10. Now, both of these are divisible by 5. So let's divide the top by 5, and we get 3. Divide the bottom by 5, and we get 2. The answer is 3/2. And it is true that 3/2 can be rewritten as 1 1/2. So you can convert it into a mixed number if you want to. We can use the same idea to convert decimals to percents. For example, 0.3 times 100% equals 30%. 0.9 times 100% equals 90%. 1.34 times 100% equals 134%. And 0.025 times 100% equals 2.5%. This just moves the decimal 2 places to the right due to multiplying by 100, and adds the percent symbol, which divides by 100. Therefore, the multiplication and division cancel out. The value of the number is unchanged. This same approach works for all conversions with percents and only requires remembering that 100% equals 1. Let's convert these to percents. Once again, we just multiply by 100%. So it's going to move the decimal 2 places to the right. 56%. 0.85 times 100%, 85%. Just move that decimal 2 places to the right because we're multiplying by 100. 1.25 times 100%, move the decimal 2 places to the right, and we get 125%. 3.005 times 100% equals 300.5%. 0.005 times 100%, let's move the decimal there, 0.5%. And here are all of the answers. Converting from percents to decimals is just the inverse of what we just did. Just divide the percent by 100% and cancel out the percent symbol. The division by 100 replaces the percent symbol, leaving the value of the number unchanged. For instance, 78% divided by 100% equals 0.78, since that is the result of dividing 78 by 100, and the 2% signs cancel. Convert these to decimal numbers. All right, we're just going to divide that percent by 100%. So the percent signs cancel, and we get 34 divided by 100. We can actually just write that like this. 34 divided by 100 moves the decimal 2 places to the left. So it's going to be 0.34. 67% divided by 100%, well, the percent signs are going to cancel. And when we divide by 100, we just take that decimal, we move it 2 spots to the left. 0.67. 95% divided by 100%. All right, the percent signs cancel. And we're just going to, because we're dividing by 100, we take that decimal, which currently is right here. We just move it to the left 2 spots. 0.95. 5% divided by 100%. All right, the percent signs are going to cancel. And then we have 5 with a decimal here. Divided by 100, we move 2 spots over, which means we need to put a 0 in there. 0.05. 275% divided by 100%. All right, so our decimal's here. Well, first of all, our percent signs are going to cancel, and our decimal moves 2 spots to the left. 2.75. And there are all of the answers.